you could do the soapbox,
right?
Him in Florida campaign of like, oh, these CDC, these elite, like, pencil pushers want to tell us what to do, and their recommendations were wrong, and they were overly, their mask recommendations like didn't meet what the actual science was, and we should have more access to medicines, right? Like there are plenty of like legitimate criticisms, like so to do this is just like wildly irresponsible and madness, and it's a specific effort to like reach the Candace Owens crowd. It's like him saying, I don't want these legitimate criticisms of Trump's FDA or CDC. I'm gonna jump over those, and those are kind of implicit. And my explicit criticism is going to be, how do I get to Candace Owens's voters, right, who are anti-vax and who are unhappy with Trump over the vax, and like that is what's so gross about this, really.
So let me throw two things at you guys. One with why it will work, and one with why it won't. And the reason it could work is because, again, all of this is phrased in just asking questions. So Lodopo, who puts out a statement yesterday as his unbelievably irresponsible study is being picked apart, and he says, I love the discussion that we've stimulated. Isn't it great when we discuss science transparently instead of trying to cancel one another? This fucking guy. And that's, it's like, my study is junk science. Well, but look at the great conversation we've stimulated, right? And this is what this is what DeSantis will do. I was just asking questions. Aren't we supposed to? We don't want to cancel each other just for asking questions. So that's why it could work. But the reason it could not work is because, again, DeSantis doesn't have the courage of his own convictions. He is not doing all of his medicine with ivermectin and pills, right? Like he got vaccinated. This is why he refused to answer the question about whether or not he was vaccinated. His wife underwent cancer treatment, presumably with the best oncologists and medical teams that exist in Florida. And so it is like the Marlboro Man not smoking cigarettes because he knows that they're bad for you, but going around, taking a drag with his lariat and posing for pictures and doing the advertising. And don't voters smell that? Or are they such rubes, such idiot bubbas that they can't even understand that they're getting pandered to?
Look, I think that this plays in. I mean, and like this is the thing. Not all the voters, not all Republican voters, but the folks who are at Turning Point USA, the folks for whom fighting is the highest level prerequisite beyond, any actual policy position. Right? There's a decent chunk of those people who now represent the base of the Republican Party. And that's who he's trying to. But look, but this is why I think it's a gamble. Is because I actually think for a really big chunk of normies, they think the vaccines were good. Although, I mean, here is, I guess the piece that I would offer as why I'm not sure this is so risky for DeSantis is, in retrospect, the public health community doesn't look great, right? Like everyone was wearing cloth masks. And for all this time, and it's hard to not sort of go back and judge these things and think, well, this was stupid. For a year, we were all wearing these cloth masks that offered basically no protection. We were making kids wear them. The kids being kept out of schools. Like there is going to be story after story after story about the mental health and learning fallout from the kids not being in schools. I think that there's a reason he wants to circle around I was right about this and the public health community was wrong. And part of it is and also, it's not, I think a lot of reasonable people can say, look, they said that the vaccine was going to solve this in a lot of ways. And they did get a little oversold in the beginning. It turns out you needed a ton of boosters and then you were still going to get COVID. At the end of the day, it was not going to keep you from getting COVID. It was going to help keep you from dying, especially if you were under the age of 65.
Yeah. I mean, so I guess I'm going to have to disagree on just the on whether I think that is a working message when it comes to 2020. I mean, again, maybe in the primary. I want to set aside the primary. I think we all agree that this is a good play, just practically speaking, for the primary voter.
Yeah.
It's going to work. Primary voter cares about this. It's an easy wedge with Trump. Okay, so let's set that aside. The other element about just this whole like COVID debate in the public sphere and like the narrative around COVID and what was right and what was wrong. I think everybody has real things that we wish we'd have done better. You know, like the perfect, like matched against the perfect, we didn't do great. Matched against China, we're doing pretty good. Matched against letting 3 million more people die, we're doing pretty good. Matched against Florida, like weirdly having a spike in COVID deaths after the vaccine became available, I think we're doing pretty good compared to that. States where people got vaccinated. You know, I don't know in 20. So what we're in November, we're in December of 2022. So 20 months from now, in September of 2024, when like some people are getting their COVID fall booster and some people are getting their flu booster, but like that's just our new reality. Is this going to be work? Right? Like, are people really going to want to be like, hear Ron DeSantis in the debates in September of 2024 be like, I was right and Joe Biden was wrong. We shouldn't have masked the kids. We shouldn't have had so many vaccine boosters. I don't know. I think most people are going to be kind of like, dude, I don't.
Well,
I don't
no, because this will be a test of, and I think this is one of the things we really don't know about Ron DeSantis, right? Is what quality of politician is he? Like, is he good at this? Yeah. And it could be that he's actually, as I suspect, I was just on the Guardian's podcast, and they were like, "What's your prediction for 2023? Something that you think would surprise people?" And I was like, "Ron DeSantis totally going to fall apart. Like, he's not going to be he won't be the main challenger to Trump." And I think part of that is because I think looking at him, I'm not sure that he's particularly good at this. But let's say he was. Let's just take the affirmative case. Ron DeSantis is a relatively good politician. He's not arguing in the general election to normie voters that, you know, he's not talking about like you shouldn't vaccinate people, whatever. What he's saying is he's lamenting the Democrats' entire approach to education, including how they kept our kids out of schools and look at the fallout that we're dealing with. And he sounds concerned about. He'll say, I have a young family, and watching the mental health struggles of these kids because of the Democrats' overzealous big government policies. We cannot have people like that running our government. Like, that's what he'll do. And like for the normies, that'll play a little bit. It played for Youngkin. That's how I think it'll work.
Midterms. I just think that the salience of this is like by the week is like, I think this is a high salience issue for Bethany Mandel and like the 22 people that moved to Florida, you know, because they were spending too much time reading top conservatives on Twitter. But I think this is increasingly a low salience issue for other people. Hey, hope you enjoyed that teaser of The Next Level. Click the link down below for the full episode and head on over to the Next Level YouTube page and click that subscribe button.